Hey YouTube, Dustin here. Welcome to my review for the Deluxe Oger Caliber from Osama Sentai King Oger. This is their changer sword weapon from the series. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Just talking about the look of it. Honestly, I have to say, this thing's really grown on me. I mean, I think the general look is still kind of a function over form situation where some of the, clunkiness and the, mechanics get in the way of a more elegant design. That kind of happens more so with Rider than anything else, where you kind of have the clunk and all this stuff coming off of it because it's more about the sounds and the function than the look of it. But I have to say, I really do appreciate the design of this. I think they did a pretty good job with it in terms of, just the toy. Something I always appreciated with this was I liked that it had kind of the wooden handle to make it seem more like a medieval sword. I like that since we saw the first scan pictures. But having it in person, it's kind of got this nice finish where it makes it feel like faux wood, which sounds like a weird thing to really like, but I think it gives it that feel of actually feeling like a real medieval sword. And then even the blade, you do have that bit of a cheap plastic, but it kind of flows seamlessly into this almost matte finish gray here, and while it looks kind of boring, it kind of gives it an actual more grounded sword feel compared to just looking like a poppy, obnoxious toy. Obviously, it's a toy, and it's meant to be that. But I think with the whole medieval theme, this is kind of cool, the way this aesthetic kind of blends this sort of old-fashioned feel with the more techie bug vibe, which I think is cool. And you still got the clunk factor with these 5 things sitting off of here, but it's rather clever the way it's used. And I do have to say, I appreciate that it's not a gimmick, and by that I mean when I first saw images of this, I thought these were going to be little tiny bug gimmicks you had to collect and all that, collectible toku garbage. And I like that this is all just housed in this. You can just buy this toy and have all the fun with all the sounds in the one go. You don't have to go buy a bunch of basically physical DLC, and I really appreciate that. And it's not my favorite aesthetically, but it's a lot better than I gave it credit for, and there's some aspects I can really appreciate about it. Obviously, for size, it's your kind of standard toku weapon. It actually doesn't feel that bad. It's kind of got a nice heft and feel to it, and it's a little bit longer than some blades, and it certainly feels like a better size than the King's weapon, which will be the next review, but it's obviously going to be your par for the course Toku Sentai PR weapon, where it's not going to be the most accurate. I can kind of guarantee 90-95% within the year there'll probably be a memorial edition that's 1-to-1 size like they did with Ryu Soldier. But enough about this. Let's talk about the sounds now. So on and off switch here. So you get the standard noise of it saying its name. This button here will give you some standard slash noises, aka slandered noises. And what's cool is you can see it'll cycle through the different LEDs that they have for all the Rangers when you do that, which is neat. And then when you hold it down, it's going to key that up, but we're not going to be doing that yet. But when you hold that down, it will activate stuff ready for a final attack. But now let's go ahead and talk about the changing noises. So when you press this, so there is the Henshin sounds for the Red Ranger. So you activate it by pressing this first, and then a second time activates the Henshin, which instinctually I keep wanting to press this to activate it, but that's how you do it. And then when you go for the others, you press this one. Now, interestingly, when you activate the sounds for the other Rangers, you press their individual one, and then you actually have to use Reds again to activate it, so you won't press Papillions twice, which I don't know why that's the case. I kind of wish it wasn't that way. It's not a huge deal, but I just feel it makes more sense in my head to just, activate their gimmick twice for the Henshin rather than going back to Reds. That just seems weird. It's not a huge deal, I just think it's weird function-wise. And there you have the Henshin sounds, and people have obviously brought up very fair and funny Bop It comparisons, which is funny, but this is overall kind of neat and fun and satisfying to work with. And again, it's kind of nice, it gives you a little bit of variety and fun functionality, and I appreciate not having to have a gimmick. I really like that. This easily could have been a gimmick-based thing. Now for the finisher noises. Now with that one, you will pretty much get the same sound, but you can't actually use any of them to activate it. I'll just show that off real quick. And now real quick... Jump the gun there a little bit, or the sword. Now real quick before we get to the summoning sounds for the mecha, I'll just show you the individual slashing noises for the rangers, which I almost forgot to do. Alright, so there's those. You get a little bit of an individual sort of attack sound for each ranger. Now you can also activate the Summoning King Oger, meaning the mecha noise, by holding this up. And then... So there you have that, and you can jump the gun on that, or again, the sword. And just do... And just do that again. So you don't necessarily have to go do all of them. But overall, guys, I actually really dig this thing. Again, I just want to repeat, I appreciate that it's not a gimmick-based thing, meaning you can buy this, you can have all the Henshin sounds, the Megazord sounds, you know, it's not going to be the most robust, or even the most robust in terms of, like, you're going to get more and more sounds throughout the year because of the gimmick, but it's nice to have a good, all-around, solid amount of sounds for the show, just solely contained in this. And like I said, I like the design a lot more than I thought I was going to in person. I really do appreciate some of the creativeness and the fun. And as far as the sounds go, I really like the voice. Like, the voice is really cool. I'm so glad it's not another shrieking crackhead voice. I like the jingles, like the jingle we just heard for King Oger's Mecha, I really like. The only part I don't like, and just as a personal thing, is the sing-songy aspect. I feel it makes it needlessly busy. Not to mention, I feel 90% of the sing-songy jingles in Sentai and Riders sound the same. So again, that's very much a personal thing. I just wish that wasn't there, but I'm so glad that I like the voice and everything else about it, and we're not in for another year of and like just weird obnoxiousness. Again, that's a personal thing, but it's just a nice change of pace, and I really like it. So overall, guys, this thing, as with all toys, is not perfect, but I can honestly recommend it if you're a fan of King Oger so far. I think it looks a lot better than I thought it was going to, and I think it's a lot of fun, especially if you're a fan of just being able to buy the single toy and have all the fun at once and not have to worry about buying physical DLC. Although I'm sure there might be some add-ons or something throughout the year, but as of right now, it's just a good, solid standalone purchase. But that's about it for this one, guys. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you get notifications for my videos. Dawson Rider, signing out.